Welcome back to Trails in the Sky. Last time we found out we needed to go to Elmo Village to fix the hot springs, but we're kind of going to go on the way there, but not actually go there yet because side quests. So this is Trapp Plains Road, which some people have pointed out is actually just like, you can jumble the letters a bit and get Tara Platt, basically. So, we have some sheeps here. These places are kind of infested with sheep, so yeah. Creepy sheep. They are actually the same, like, enemy name and description as earlier in the game, but they are a new enemy and have a lot more HP and, well, other stats. Tita's going before Estelle. That's the power of action too, I guess. And yep, there's Tita's end of battle quote. One of them at least. So there are actually 9 chests over here. And I want to try and pick up all of them on this visit, even though some of them will require me to go a bit near Elmo Village for my liking. So this thing here is an armored rabbit. I don't know why, but I've always just found that such a cool enemy name. So this thing is actually pretty resilient to physical attacks, but it is fairly weak to magic, so maybe I should, I can try Earthlands, I guess. I was gonna go for Confusion there with Estelle. Have we actually seen Earthlands yet? It's actually exactly the same... Oh, and I don't want to talk about that. It's actually exactly the same art as Blue Impact, it's just Earth elements instead of Water elements. Now, I think there are 2 chests over here, so yeah, this place is fairly big. But I know there are 2 chests on this particular screen, although I think they're actually, on the other side. Well, in that case, I'll actually be hitting up the path to Elmo first, but I'm not actually going to go there. As you can see here, the moment that you enter Elmo Village, you will end up starting the main plot. And it will expire a whole ton of side quests, so obviously we're not going to do that. And here's another one of these, Bane Cobra. Not a mushroom snake, but yeah, it's a relative of the mushroom snake. Bane Cobra is also a pretty cool enemy name. Yeah, well, there's Confusion. Like I said, though, it's actually not that strong if there's only one enemy in play. If there are multiple enemies, though, it's incredibly fun. Now, this screen does have one particularly cleverly hidden treasure chest, so... yeah, it's right there. This one I almost missed on my test playthrough. Terrabalm. It's empty. Diabolical! And I think the other one is, like, right down. I know there is an area that has a gigantic sheep infestation, although that could only be in the second game. Let's see if I'm right about that. Yep, nope, it's in this game too, yep. Sheep infestation. Going down there will result in, sheep. At least that was only one sheep. And hashtag ends gone loco once again. See earlier parts for an explanation of that. Go away, sheep. This, I think this is actually a monster chest. Yes, it is, and it's more sheep. A lot more sheep. So, yeah, let's trap them with White Gahana here. Still going for that bad touch. More sheep puns. Oh, great, you've walked right out of the radius of that. I don't know if any of them can actually reach Estelle from here. But I guess I'll find out the hard way if I'm wrong. So, Tita, Smoke Cannon is incredibly good here. Also, I love that quote. Because these things mainly attack physically, and Blind is going to drastically lower their accuracy. Even on debuffs, apparently. And yeah, you can tell if that misses because it doesn't even make any impact sounds if it does. So yeah, Tita's Blind craft is incredibly useful sometimes, mainly against physically based enemies. Okay, some of them should be taken out by this aerial. In fact, a lot of them should be taken out by this aerial. Even though they are resistant to wind. Still doesn't really matter when they're this weakened and when, well, there's this many of them. Okay, I think I may want to target the one that is currently not... oh, there's actually 2 that are currently not blinded, and that means Estelle is probably going to go down here unless she S-breaks, which I might actually do. Yeah, I'm going to S-break with Estelle, because I feel like she's probably going to go down otherwise, and target the one that is not blinded, of course. Now, watch the ones that are blinded get lucky and hit me. No, going for a debuff, and you're... no, you're not going for a debuff, and misses. Good. Okay, can't quite get you with that AoE. Smoke Cannon is pretty expensive in terms of CP, though. it's generally not likely to make back its cost, so getting tomato sandwiches is kind of nice to keep Tita refueled for that. Well, there's Death Blow. Not that it was actually useful.
We're good to go.
Okay, that should be a level up on... no. But hit 3. So that's actually one more for our quartz list. You must be awfully optimistic if you think more treasure is going to appear in this chest. That's actually a pretty nice quote. Okay, should I... hit 3 is actually not amazing, personally. I find that you hit enough in this game when you need to, that you don't really need the accuracy boosting quartz. Now, in Cold Steel 2, where they drastically nerfed the hit rates of physical attacks, then yeah, that can actually be kind of useful. That leads straight into Elmo Village. Let's not go there, obviously. Oh, there's another type of enemy here. A relative of the crop munchers from earlier, Grasshopper. Not like a grasshopper as in an insect, but a grasshopper, something that hops on grass. They fight pretty similarly to the crop munchers from the first chapter, well, the prologue, but, well, it's pretty much a chapter in its own right. It is kind of weird calling it a prologue. This is kind of a strange tangent, but I might want to go into this, like, eventually anyway. The prologue of SC is a bit more fitting of the name prologue, I'll just say. Okay, they are resistant to Earth, so might as well have Tita shoot one. Ugh, that's annoying. Oh, they can lower their speed just by hitting you. And they can play dead like always. But yeah, the prologue of SC is a lot shorter than the one in FC. FC's is practically its own chapter. So I really consider this more like Chapter 4 than Chapter 3. Well, playing dead didn't help you there. Also, yeah, nice thing about putting Death Blow 1 on Joshua is that both of his individual hits of Jewel Strike have a separate chance of proccing it. And there's the third chest on this screen, another Terror Bomb. It wouldn't be empty if you hadn't already looted it now, would it? Okay, I'll actually see you back on the first screen because there's not much else to show here. And I healed up Joshua a little bit because, yeah, I am actually going to need him at full strength soon. Terror Bomb again. You have found the missing link. I'm pretty sure there's one more chest on this side too. And there, I think around here is where the big crop muncher equivalent starts appearing. Yeah, a lot of sheep around these parts. Lot of sheep. Major sheep infestation, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a second chest here. Here, yep, it's under this tree near the, well, not so much the start of the area, but the middle of this first path. Terror Bomb. You have found zilch. Nada. Nothing. So back onto this path, which leads to a few locations and also a really, really huge area. This leads to Corneila Tower, actually no relation to the novel, surprisingly, and Wolf Fort, which in my opinion is one of the most forgettable locations in all of the world, but I'll explain why once I get there. Now, I'm pretty sure there are more chests on this screen, and if we keep heading down into that little area, yeah, actually, I'll use my mouse here. So, this area right here, that actually will take you to Haulage Vehicle Search. So, I'm going to put that off for a little bit, Grasshopper. Because let's just say you want to be ready before you do Haulage Vehicle Search. Something may end up happening. Okay, this thing is totally not going to be a monster chest, right? Yep, it's a monster chest. Conspicuously in the middle of everything, obviously it's a monster chest. So here we have a Hopper Chief, and a whole bunch of smaller grasshoppers. This one's, again, it's actually pretty simple. So I guess I can kind of take this time to mention that someone in the comments did mention, and I'm glad that people are actually giving me suggestions on what to do with some of the characters, because it's nice to see people who, well, I don't know, I find this series is very niche, and there aren't that many people who are really that familiar with it, for the most part, which is why I can feel a little bit more confident than I usually do about recording ahead with this series. You didn't walk into the trap. But this person in the comments was mentioning how, yeah, Tita's Ordnance may not be that amazing compared to Chloe and Olivier's, but she does at least have just the right slots to get both Hellgate and and Earthwall, and by extension Earthlands, and that's really all she needs. Her ATS isn't nearly as strong as Joshua's, obviously, and Joshua's isn't nearly as strong as those other two, but she actually still does decently well with those skills. I think I'll pick off the small fry here first. That attack is just called blind, okay then. It'd be really weird if I could get confusion here, but I don't know if I will. Okay, come off. I feel a little bit weird using, oh, right, I had a feeling the big thing could do that. But yeah, a little bit weird using White Kahana here, but Joshua has quite a bit of EP to spare at this point. And 200 CP is kind of nice, I guess, but... You know, I think I'd rather actually just use, Morale might not be a bad idea, but... I'm actually gonna Comet the big one. Aha! Critical turn. Perfect time to use this. Don't worry, I am gonna show off Cannon Impulse soon. I want to show that for the Haulage Vehicle, quest, but... I love how it just puts its hands up when it's, yeah, when it's, dead, basically. But yeah, here's where Petrify and Teeter is pretty useful. Can I? I think I can actually flicker this one. And you are going to go ahead and Earth Lance that. I really don't need to worry about finishing off the Petrify one because, yeah, Petrification never recovers on its own, as I probably said earlier in the game, so... That might have actually changed in later Trails games. I forget if it was any different in Cold Steel, but... I know that in that game, most basic Earth arts have a chance to petrify, so I think it is nerfed in that game. But in this one, anything that is petrified is essentially dead. You can just safely leave them, and yeah, they'll be totally fine. I almost pressed run there, and that would have been disastrous. Okay, there we go, she levels up finally. I'm not sure I trust getting dirty carrots off a bunch of monsters. We get Black Bangle from that. I feel so empty inside. Black Bangle is an accessory that I believe makes you immune to sleep. Yeah, so it actually sounds kind of creepy, its description. I don't know if creepy is the right word, but I don't know, like stimulating a pressure point by wearing something to the point where you can't fall asleep. Hi Shining Palm, I was just about to talk about you. Yes, this is where the Shining Palms are for this chapter, so if you're wanting to grind, here is the time. And this thing's probably gonna run from me. But, I think this will still have a chance of proccing Deathblow 1, so... Nope, no Deathblow 1, but I did get the delay effect. Okay, this is a problem. She actually does have Shadow Spear. Yeah, she does have Shadow Spear, so that's good. But it doesn't really matter how high your ATS is at this point against Shining Palms. Really all you want is to go for the instant death chance. I don't think Confusing prevents them from running, but I guess I can try. And I missed anyway. Okay, come on, instant death. Nope, and it's probably gonna run. Yeah, thought so. Oh well. It's actually very easy to get the drop on those by entering and exiting Corneila Tower repeatedly, so I don't really consider that, you know, too big of a loss. And honestly, we don't really need, that much in the way of, extra experience at this point, but I may as well fight them just for the achievement anyway. Yeah, while I'm here, I may as well go, this direction. Corneila Tower, beware of monsters, as usual. So, I think we can enter Corneila Tower now. I guess I can just show that. Yeah, we can enter this place. It actually does have 15 treasure chests in it, so clearing it out now before we are, I'll just say, we are forced to go here for plot reasons anyway, because you probably know that by now, because if we weren't, I would have explored it now. So I'll be taking care of the chests then. Okay, there we go. Got one of them at least. And as usual, 50 of every Seepith. Okay, so that's done. Okay, so I think the other chests here are actually on this screen. And the one here should be pretty obvious. Yep, it's right here, and I think this is actually another monster chest. Yep, it's another one, and it's the exact same fight as before, so I may as well skip over this. Okay, that thing can use Stone Impact. I think it's... Yeah, it says it can use arts, so... You are at least warned about that, if you have the information cords equipped. Oh, Tita's just barely on the cusp of level up there. Kind of reminds me of how in Persona Q2, characters actually have quotes for just being close to level up, not that you'd know if you don't understand Japanese. Sapphire Talisman. The chest is, you guessed it, empty. So, this thing, yeah, it makes all of your attacks water-based, which, I don't know, I still don't really like using those all that much. You ambushed us because you just felt the need to demonstrate to us, for our benefit, that you were gonna take a nap. That was... Honestly, those things look kind of like cats, and that was a very cat-like thing to do. So I'm going to take this exit towards Wolf Fort, because I think there are 2 chests down here, and that actually should be all of them. And there are also these Mantis enemies that seem to only appear right here and nowhere else in this area. War Mantis. Only attacks males, interesting. But yeah, it, you know what? That's kind of a reference to, I think, how female praying mantises eat the males after mating, but... Anyway. And there's that level up. Pretty weak to wind, and yeah, just like the ice mantises, they can interfere with your arts. Okay, there's one down here. Please tell me this is another one. I'm pretty sure this is another monster chest. It's another monster chest of the exact same kind. And that's why I like Petrify and Deathblow on Tita, by the way. Oh, I was about to say that I could show something here, and then I realized, oh wait, Estelle hasn't learned that craft yet. Yeah, that'll make sense if you either already know this game, or if you don't, it'll make sense in due time. Oh, and that one just ran away. Why were they carrying vintage wine? Anyway, we get Long Barrel for that. The chest is oh so very empty. Long Barrel is a very interesting accessory. It only really has a practical use for gun users, and the way it works is it actually increases the range on your basic attacks. So it's pretty good for Tita because it helps her stay away from direct attacks, which obviously is good because she goes down to a faint breeze. Right, again, I'm pretty sure, my notes say that on that near a tree near Wolf Fort is another chest. I think this is the one. Yep, there it is. Tirabal, again. You have found the missing link again. Considering that I have the same contents, I am guessing some of the chest messages exist because some of the chests are copy-paste of other chests. But anyway, I may as well show this while we're here. This is Wolf Fort, and there's a lot of chickens here for some reason, on the border between Leberle and Calvard. The reason why this area is pretty forgettable is because, as of now, this series hasn't actively explored Calvard. But there's a good reason to come here, because if you talk to this guy, we get one of the very few easy-to-miss hidden quests in this game. Likely because Wolf Fort is such a forgettable area. Yeah, if you remember back from Zeiss, we know that Faye was down there in the basement working on the conveyor belts. So, at this point, you actually have to have talked to Faye to get the gasoline, so I'm pretty sure there's no variant dialogue for this quest. You're Faye? Huh. Well, she did seem to be talking about someone in a way that implied she was pining for them. So thankfully, it's not Ulm. But his name sort of rhymes with Ulm in a way. I guess whether or not it rhymes kind of depends on your accent a little bit. Brahm. Actually, not really. Well, we're doing side quests, so yeah, now's perfect. By the way, there's a reason why I've avoided Haulage Vehicle Search right now. It's because that's going to take us back to Zeiss, and we're going to be going back to Zeiss for this quest anyway, so why not kill 2 side quests with 1 stone? Yeah, work's gonna take us back to Zeiss, even for main story reasons eventually. It is pretty much our base of operations right now. So we get Letter to Faye. But there's actually a little more to this quest. Yeah, Tina, you're not really old enough to worry about that yet. So for once, Estelle's actually coming up with a good idea here. Yeah, the life of a border guard, I guess. You don't really get a lot of free time. So he's gonna ask us to get a gift to go with the letter. But he doesn't really have any specifics. But there is bonus BP for getting the right gift. Yeah, these two's entire relationship is in our hands. Why does that often happen in RPGs, though? There's always at least one side quest where you play matchmaker for NPCs. One of those that always personally stuck with me was that one from Wind Waker, where you have to take photos of people. Which is a lot less creepy than it sounds. So, about this is actually kind of funny. 1000 Mira is not enough to cover the cost of the correct gift, which is kind of annoying. Normally, I wouldn't trust Estelle with this, but I'm controlling her, so I know exactly what gift to buy for this quest. It's really not too hard. There's like only one thing in Zeiss that really could qualify as a decent gift, and we've actually seen it already. In fact, I may have alluded to it. So yeah, as of recording this video, the Trails series hasn't begun an arc set in Calvard yet, but I'm sure it will eventually, and well, I'm sure it will be pretty interesting. Especially considering certain things that happen with Calvard later in the Cold Steel arc, but that's getting way ahead of myself. Actually, the Trapp Plains monster is on this area too, but it's kinda close to Haulage Vehicle Search, and, well, I have, yep, there's Haulage Vehicle Search right there. Oh right, you actually have to talk to them to initiate it, so before you talk to these two, make sure that you're prepared. I believe Bruno was actually the guy who was saying, I hope this thing doesn't break down in monster territory back in Zeiss earlier, and of course it did. It's kind of why I like going out of my way to talk to NPCs earlier on, because they often foreshadow later developments, both plot-wise and side quest-wise. So I think Wong actually has slightly different dialogue if you talk to him in town before this. I seem to remember that from an earlier playthrough. So he seems to be another junior in this area. Yeah, yeah, about that, we're kind of putting that off for a little bit, sorry. Well, clearly something went wrong. Especially with all this cargo. Wow, she can tell that without even looking internally? But she probably knows enough to at least diagnose the problem, which she, well, just did. It's funny they're using this music just for a random monster attack. In fact, just a stampede of armored rabbits. Nice sword swipe there. And there are even more of them. This is kind of to justify the fact that Wong is not going to be fighting with us as an NPC. It's a shame, I'd actually like a combat-capable NPC at this point. Even when Chloe was an NPC, she didn't actually use her rapier, just healing. So, this fight right here, I kind of want to try out Tita's S-Craft for the first time. Hopefully they all bunch up properly. Yep, they're bunching up pretty well, okay. So, this thing right here, Cannon Impulse. I'm just gonna let it speak for itself. That is just one of my favorite S-Crafts in this whole game, just for the sheer ridiculousness of this 12-year-old girl who, to put it frankly, sounds like Fluttershy, pulling out this gigantic machine gun and just mowing down everything. It's just great. Something to point out as well about that S-Craft is that that's actually not an orbally powered gun, that's a traditional machine gun. And you might want to remember that for later. And this thing's probably just gonna die to one more hit. Yeah, actually I can flicker you out of the turn order for a little bit. Because I don't know if Dual Strike will do it, your defenses are fairly high. And I just love the way that after just blowing everything to pieces with a giant machine gun, she just says her, phew, scary. It's just, yeah, I don't know if I'm probably alone in this, but I just love that S-Craft. It's just completely ridiculous and it's just so amazing. Well, besides a bunch of rabbits that are probably all a fine paste right now. So, this quest is actually really interesting. It's actually 2-in-1. Just finding it completes Haulage Vehicle Search, but it unlocks a second hidden quest called Haulage Vehicle Repair, which requires you to go back to Zeiss. Basically, we need to bring the parts to them. They're pretty much stuck right now. We also need to do a bit of research as to where to get the replacement parts. Also, this has a very short deadline. You have to do it before going to Elmo Village. Basically, these two aren't going to wait forever. They'll head straight back to town once you go to Elmo Village. So this hidden side quest, not really all that hidden. It's pretty obvious, it just naturally flows on from this one. And they directly tell you to go to talk to Prometheus. So, while we're here though, there's actually something else that we need to take care of. Where is it? I know the Trapp Plains monster is around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Does Tina have 30 CP? Okay, yeah, she has enough. So this thing right here. All my notes say is blind them with Tita, but that sounds like a very good thing. These are a lot like the Rhino Cider from the first chapter, i.e. the prologue. They're incredibly physically bulky, but they are very defensive against magic, and they can use golden armor to buff themselves. Very robust attributes, no notable weak points, and yeah, they are slightly resistant to all arts. Except time. So yeah, let's just go ahead and use White Kahana, because like always, White Kahana kind of beats everything. Now, if I'm remembering right, these things hit stupidly hard, so obviously you want to try and blind them. Another reason why Tita is a very useful party member. She's more of a utility party member than an actual offensive one, but Blind is very, very useful against things like this. And I just barely missed the critical turn with Joshua here, but oh well. Please tell me the critical turn is on one that is blinded. No, it's not. I think I just hit faint on something that was already fainted, because I heard the sound effect. May as well do this again, just to see if I get a Petrify. And, well, yeah, you just go for Aerial. The good news is these things are about as slow as you'd expect, so you get a lot of turns in on them. As long as you blind them or inflict them with Feint, they're really not that bad. They will run you through a lot of your EP though, because even magically they're pretty resilient. I don't think I've seen a single enemy take this many White Gahanas. I feel like even her regular attack is not going to do enough at this point, so, I guess Earth Lance, maybe? Actually, I probably should use Shadow Spear. And this should be over pretty soon. There we go.
We did it.
So that's that done. We've complete. Hi there. Again, you felt the need to ambush me just to show that you wanted a nap. With that done, I'll see you back at Zeiss. Okay, so our first port of call is... Wait a minute. Oh, no, that's Igor, not Prometheus. Our first port of call back in Zeiss is to go to Bell Station General Goods and buy the woolly knit hats. This is actually the main gift here, and it straight out tells you a great gift for a young girl, so let's go ahead and buy that. And yep, that cheapskate didn't even give us enough money to cover the cost of it. We are 200 Mira out of pocket for that, but it'll be worth it, hopefully. Okay, yeah, there's Prometheus. We need to talk to him. Well, we have a little bit of an issue involving a vehicle that just broke down in Evil Bunny territory. That's a very weird sentence. They seem to work on a lot of engines here. Oh. Well, that's bad. He was our only lead. Oh, okay then. So, you're actually not the expert on the subject anymore. Well, that's not great. Yeah, Estelle certainly likes the ones that don't give us much trouble. So our only lead is somewhere in the factory at this point. Well, what's your best resource when you're looking for something, especially something within the factory? Yeah, we're gonna need to pay old Mr. Capel a visit here. Yep, it's time to essentially Google search what we need. So, related topics. You might have noticed Haulage vehicle on this list earlier. Yep, it's relevant now. Widely considered uncomfortable to ride. No data. Repository, underground factory, entrance. Okay. Well, that's our only lead for now, but we can easily get to the underground factory. It's right at the very end of Caldia Tunnel. And look, there's an orbital vehicle. I do like how this quest doesn't really spell out exactly where you need to go. You kind of need to be intuitive enough to put 2 and 2 together. Okay, that's good, and thankfully we have a semi-trained mechanic with us in our party right now. So we get the drive augment. Still on Trapp Plains Road. And I just kind of realized something. We are actually, as of now, 1 location short on being ready to report in product testing. And it's kind of out of our way to go there right now, but I might have to. While we're here, though, make sure you have bought the wool. I'm just going to check again, just to make sure. Yep, there's the woolly knit hats. Make sure you've bought that before you talk to Faye. So, fairly realistically, she doesn't instantly change her opinion on him after seeing the letter. She does appreciate it though, but things are not automatically smoothed over between the two of them. But I will say, this is the quest that the majority of people remember for having repercussions in the sequel if you do a file transfer. Okay, while we're here, we may as well report what we have. Haulage vehicle search, but not repair. Messenger of Love, plus 4 BP for the woolly knit hat, by the way. You don't actually even need to go back to Private Brahm and tell him about the results. And that monster reported too. Okay, so yeah. There's another exit to the Zeiss, to Zeiss's main town. It leads to a place called Riddle Roadway. Now, story-wise, we don't really have any business being here yet, but Sanctheim Gate is one of the places on the list to go to complete product testing. So, I'm gonna actually have to make my way down this road anyway. Also, the Chronosider enemies are already regular enemies. So, I'm not gonna fight anything particularly major here at the moment, because we'll actually be going here for a monster extermination request later on anyway. In fact, wait a minute, don't we already have one? Yeah, we do actually have Riddle Roadway monster, but that one we can afford to put off for a little while longer. Basically, yeah, I just want to get product testing done as soon as possible. That is the... Well, I guess if we're right here, we may as well fight it. So yeah, here we go. These things. I should have equipped poison accessories. Whoops. Yeah, obviously they like to spam poison on you. So basically, it's a really big snake and a lot of smaller snakes. Mercury Viper. That's kind of cool. Spits poison at its prey. Gee, I wonder if that would have been easy to figure out normally. Okay, they are at least somewhat weak to aerial, so I can spam that. I have 200 CP on both Estelle and Joshua. There's probably no real reason not to use it at this point. And I can only catch 2 of them in range with that, which is kind of a shame. Of course, didn't get Petrify. Okay, after I do this, I think I'm just going to double S-Break. In fact, honestly, I probably should have just Deathblow 2'd my way through this. Although there is another quest monster later on that you can kind of Deathblow 2 your way through. Basically, there's actually not a lot in this chapter that's particularly worth using Deathblow 2 on. Okay, the downside of doing this is Estelle is going to take poison damage right after this because it does count as a turn. I don't know if this will finish it off, honestly, and if it doesn't, I may be in trouble. Yep, just barely not. Yep, like I said, definitely in trouble. And more snakes. Right. I do, however, have... You know, now might not be a bad time for my Celestial Balm. Or I could try and blind them all. Because that would kill off the big... Okay, this could end really badly, but I'm risking it. Yeah, that kills off 3 of them, including the big one. And blinds the rest. Oh, wow, the big one's still alive. Okay, miss. I don't know why, but I've always loved the way these things' venom sound effect sounds when they miss. 1! Wow. Okay, I have never seen an enemy in this game survive an attack with 1 HP before. This could be really bad, this could be really bad, but I'm going for it anyway. Oh, hey, I've got Petrify on one of them. Yeah, this is what happens when you only have 1 active party member, by the way. The enemies will multi-turn you quite often. I'm so tempted to just straight up have Tita solo this fight. Because, like, I honestly admit that would be really funny. Huh. And we had to hear more of the Crisis music as well. Hellgate? It was all you. Yeah, I just had to go for that. Giant snakes cannot resist the power of adorableness. Adorableness carrying a giant gun. But anyway, so there's an area called Soldat Army Road up there that I might end up exploring a bit later. Why am I not just using Azalea Roses for this? I will say there are 4 chests on... Also, there's actually 1 chest on this area. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's right there. EP Charge EX. You came back! I knew you would. Actually, I'm not going to come back again because there's only 1 chest in this area and I don't really want to check it again. But yeah, the chests in Soldat Army Road are actually on a time limit. You can't get those after the chapter ends. So, you will want to get those, and honestly, I should probably get those chests now, but... it's kind of hard to know how long this part's gone on for, because I'm going to have to cut out quite a bit. But anyway, here is Sanctheim Gate. I will say that on my first playthrough, I misread the name of this place as something very unfortunate that I don't want to say live in a video. But here, there are a few people stationed, but what I want to do is go to the mess hall. Not rest. That's actually the rest stop. That's not the mess hall. Here's the mess hall. And eat potter meats. Because that's a recipe, obviously. And we already have all the other recipes from this place. but simply being at Sanctheim Gate is enough to wear down the shoes at least 1 point, because yeah, there's... So basically you need to go to 4 out of 5 places on that list that I explained when I first got the quest. I should probably fight one of these, because it counts as a separate thing from the monster logbook as the quest one. And now I'll see you back at the haulage vehicle. Here we go, we have the engine, just as you wanted. Yeah, sorry we took so long, we were helping a few NPCs with their love lives. Yeah, I'm kind of glad we have another technician here. Yep, everything seems to be working. And there they go. Yeah, that thing wasn't kidding about them being slow. Someone walking on foot can easily keep up with it. So, haulage vehicle repair is done. This is not strictly required, but while we're in the area, we may as well tell Private Brahm how things went. Yeah, we'll have to wait till later to see how things go. And I was sort of dumb and forgot to take care of this when we went back after going to Sanctheim Gate, but we should have visited enough locations for product testing now. We've been to Airletten, Wolf Fort, Sanctheim Gate, and... No. Oh, God, no. So, I guess I actually had to show Soldat Army Road in this part after all, because you have to go to Leiston Fortress for the product testing quest, and product testing needs to be done before Elmo Village, so I may as well get the chest now. Anyway, there aren't really any enemies here that haven't appeared in earlier areas, so I can probably afford to just run through most of this and just grab the chest. There are 4 of them here. Yeah, there's one more long area, but it only contains 1 out of the 4 chests, weirdly enough. There we go. Double dipping is against the rules. I think that's one of the few chest quotes here that's not a repeat. So yeah, this takes you to Leiston Fortress. It's obviously a pretty big and imposing place. We can't do anything here right now, but we just came here to wear down the shoes. Okay, so... yeah. Because I screwed that up last time, I hadn't saved, so I had to redo everything I just did in this part. Oh, this had better be right this time. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot about this. See, that's why my notes say to go to Leiston Fortress now. I was like, oh, you go there later for the plot anyway, so I can afford to put that off for later. But yeah, it's one of the 4 out of 5 locations we need to go to. Yeah, so he'll say the souls are extremely worn down if you got all of them. Or at least all the ones you need. Otherwise, he just says they're slightly worn down. And, well, Estelle knows so much about shoes that she can quite comfortably act as a tester for these. So we get beta Stragers. So, yeah, this is probably like the equivalent of getting an unpublished manuscript of a book from a series you follow. This would be a very, very, very good collector's item for Estelle to have if she's such a fan of these. So, when Estelle decided to become a bracer, little did she know that she would one day be doing the job of her dreams. Okay, yeah, the beta Stragers do work on everyone, but it feels wrong not to give them to Estelle. Oh, I guess we get to keep the Alpha Strager too. Yep, plus 2 BP for product testing, great. And with all of that done, we advance to Junior Bracer 2nd class. And get this! Okay, the Grail Locket. I forgot we would be getting this early. The Grail Locket is the best accessory in the game, hands down. Grail Locket, where is it? Where is it? There it is. Makes you immune to everything except instant death, so... yeah, once you have this, you can afford to spend a second accessory slot on whatever you want. I think for right now, yeah, since Joshua has the Gladiator headband, I'm going to go ahead and give that to Joshua. The Grail Locket is going to be absolutely vital later on in the game, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, okay, yeah, we did a lot in this part, and I had to do most of it twice. But, yeah, with that, we're pretty much done with side quests for most of Chapter 3. So, from now on, it's going to be almost entirely plot. So, see you next time when we head to Elmo Hot Springs.